Hello guys, I got the request to do a tutorial about Techno Trance, and despite my flu symptoms I decided to do it today because I don't have school today, and that's great. So basically what I always start off with is the one thing that I get the most questions about, which is actually the easiest thing, which is the synth itself, because I normally use Poison or Toxic Biohazard, and you don't have to change anything because you can hear it. Where you go to like note range C6, C7, you can hear that it's the typical synth that I always use. Tutorial. Oh yeah, and one thing to get that cool extra effect to make it sound a bit better, you can put up the glide time as you hear. So yeah. What I often do is like make a pattern like this. Oh yeah, and turn up the BPM to 140, which is the basic trance BPM. This is the melody that I got. And now I want to add some effects, like a bit of sound goodizer always makes it sound a bit better. And it also kind of compresses it, and some parametric equalizer to make sure that that's okay. Wanna put down the low end a bit, but up the high end, and a bit of experimenting will probably help too. Well, it doesn't need too much EQing because it's just a little tutorial. You can do whatever you want for a different kind of sound. I always like to put it up on the mid-high region, and add some reverb. And that is basically your synth. So what I'd normally do is like put it somewhere in the beginning and make like where the drums come in, like around here, and then add some either free filter or just a regular filter, but I prefer free filter since you have more control over it, and create an automation clip for the frequency, and it'll make this effect. Well, I might just do it a bit smaller for the sake of the tutorial, like this. And then basically the drop. So I thought it doesn't really matter that much like in what way you do it, like first the bass or first the drums or first the lead. It doesn't really matter, but I just prefer doing it this way. So I have Vengeance Trance 3 here with some nice trance kicks, but you can use some other kicks as long as they're hard and powerful, which is the way I like them. And I'm just looking for a good one. Okay, this sounds right. Make a little drum pattern. Can be around 4 beats with a kick on the first beat, clap on second beat, and a clap on the fourth beat. And just take a simple clap, like something you'd hear in like the 90s or the zeros, maybe even in the 80s, like an old clap, and not the new kind of house clap, which is the way that this trance is kind of made, with the old synthesizers and simple drums. So there you've got the first part of the drum pattern, so we can kind of stick it in there. and it should be alright. Yeah. But I would still add some compressors on these. Wait, turn down the compression on the clap, otherwise it's going to ruin the kick for you. And the kick can have quite some compressing, but the gain should normally be quite high, since you really want to hear the kick through the mix, but you also don't want to drown the other sound. And some equalizer. For the sake of being lazy for the tutorial here, I'm just going to take out the preset kick. Really, it should be fine. So this can be. It might just be turned down a bit here for the bass, and then it's good. Well, not that much. About there. And yeah, you can add some reverb to the clap if you want to. I often do that, but not always, since this clap is quite good of itself. But it just adds a little more. And then if you want to, you can add a small hi-hat, but the idea is that around here or here you add some more hi-hats, which is usually done. Well, it doesn't really matter what kind of hi-hat you choose. There. And what we can do already is take a new pattern and look for a good open hi-hat. Well, this sounds okay. What you can also do is make the second pattern the pattern on which the clap comes in. Like you have the first pattern and then you get the clap later on. Like this. Though I'd move it here, and if you do that, you still want to have some little clap kind of thing in this pattern, like a very simple clap that you can even find in here. I believe that the dance has some, yeah, this kind of clap. It's perfect. And then you want to add the bass. For the sake of the tutorial, once again, I'm just going to use a built-in thing here. I'm not, wait, I should probably, you can either use Harmor or Harmless. I like them both, but Harmless has some nice typical E-bass, but I don't know what it was. I think it was like Moog, Heavy Moog, that sounds right. I believe that's it. That's something I use often. Yeah, you really get that old trancey feel with this. And then you go to this pattern and you just fuck you, stupid animation clip. Just moved it there so that I can hear the synth. The first beat is on G. So you go like here. And you go to the G and make it an offbeat bass. And then you just follow the notes that you have in the lead. So we've got a good bass. And the reason I turned the bass down is because the bass is not that important in Techno Dream Trance, but you still want to hear it and you still want to have some bass, because a song without a bass is like nothing. Some parametric equalizing again, and I might just want to sidechain it with the kick. No, that's not really necessary since it's an offbeat bass, but you might want to add some compression of some sort, since it's well, you don't want to drown the other instruments, but you also don't want the other instruments to drown the bass, which easily happens in Techno Dream Trance. But yeah, we've got the bass here now. So that's that. And then here comes the other drum pattern. And last but not least, of the usual stuff is the background chords kind of stuff. And I'm just going to use I often use Toxic Biohazard for that. So that'll mean that I'm going to take this Super thing and I'm going to get rid of the release and the attack. Well, not all of the release. And I'm definitely just going to copy this stuff. I really am. No, I'm really not. The idea is that you add like some mid slash high end background stuff like the bass, and that's usually super soft, though not as strong as this, and in a different pattern. So I usually do like this. I guess this is a nice pattern. Yeah, that's a nice pattern. And then just copy that all around here. Like, just removing the old notes and pasting this here. So yeah, now I've got this finished, which sounds like this. I've added the extra layer to make it sound a bit better. And as you can see, it's a very simple pattern, and as you may have heard in some of my songs, this is actually a chord existing out of more notes inside a chord, which is something you can do if you have the time. But I didn't want to do it for this tutorial to keep it simple, but if you wanted to, you could add like the first part was a G only, but you can add a E and a D, for example, on it, because the entire melody exists out of G, D and E, and then your chord will sound better because it's actually a chord made of multiple notes and not just two Gs, which is in my opinion not really truly a chord. But yeah, that's just something which can make it sound better. But now it sounds like this. So all you really want to do now is just add the special effects, which I'm going to do now. So now that we have that, we might want to add some cymbals, just to add a little more. I don't know. I just usually do that. And you also want to have like some downlifter in here, which is usually a cymbal. So some nice crash. This is a nice one, and then I'm just going to import it here, add a little bit of reverb to make it a bit longer and have it more effect, and a bit of delay, since that just makes it sound like the cymbal itself is longer, though it really isn't. And now I'm just going to add a cymbal over here and make a reverse crash, which is going to be here at the part where the new drums come in. So let's just make a master sound thing and just control it with that. That's what I often do. It's a very simple solution, and it's something that's not very professional or anything like that. And it's not a very smart idea, but I'm just too lazy to do anything else. I also want to add a little kick here, just like it's an impact. So let's hear it one last time. And that's the tutorial, and I hope you liked it and learned something out of it.